Welcome to TrumpRepublican.News. This is Jack Easum speaking. Welcome to this new channel that's been created, TrumpRepublican.News. Some of you are probably asking, what is a Trump Republican? Well, it's a pretty simple answer, but in order to really answer it well, we have to go back in history just a little bit, back to President Ronald Reagan. During that era, and that very rough campaign he had before he got elected, he had been going around the country setting up a grassroots organization to support him for his presidential campaign. As a result of that, all of the 3,000 plus counties around the country started forming their own special organization. And a lot of them called them Reagan Republican. Well, this was done so they could distinguish themselves from some of the other Republicans of the era, some of the more liberal Republicans or just conservative Republicans. They used to be called Rockefeller Republicans were involved. And so anyway, the name with the Reagan Republicans really stuck. And Ronald Reagan with his cowboy hat and his picture of horses, riding, ranching, and that kind of thing. It really meant a lot to a lot of the people across the nation as they supported him and did all kinds of volunteer work to get him elected president. Now, those things with Ronald Reagan didn't happen quickly. He spent many years building an organization. Citizens for the Republic was the name of his committee that he had formed. And he literally traveled everywhere across the country, any major city or town, and gave presentations, speeches. And while he was doing that, he was meeting people that wanted to be a part of his grassroots organization, the Reagan Republicans. And many people started calling themselves that. Well, fast forward to today, and the phrase Trump Republican. That's right, I'm a Trump Republican. I'm a Trump Republican. Get used to it. There were 62 million of us that voted for President Donald Trump, and he got elected. Many of you out there, including myself, worked very hard and diligently to try to get him elected. And by a miracle, he was elected. All the odds were against him, but it just seemed like he had a special anointing that anyone who would oppose him would start to go down in the polls. And one by one, the rhinos, the establishment, the fake news, all started going down. And he got elected. So anyway, I'm a Trump Republican, and I've been talking over the past year or so with many people who are Trump Republicans. They just haven't started calling themselves that yet. Well, now we're going to start calling ourselves that. And as a matter of fact, I want to make it clear, we are not affiliated in any way, shape, or form with the Republican National Committee. That's some separate organization that while President Trump is the honorary head of it, it still is filled with people at the lower grassroots level that are establishment Republican supporters. Oh, they may be conservative, but they're not Trump supporters. And so these rhinos and people like that, we're not a part of that. We're Trump Republicans. And what's our purpose? Pretty clear. We want President Trump to implement his agenda that he promised he would do when he ran for president. He's trying, and he's accomplished so many things. And when you look at the opposition and the resistance that has come against him, it's been massive. But one by one, he's getting things done. Even when he did the travel ban, judges started coming out saying, you can't do that, you can't do that. Well, they went down. Some of those people have gone down, and there's always going to be a liberal, left-wing judge that's been positioned there to stop us from doing certain things. But one by one, they're going to go down. And the same with the rhinos and establishment Republicans that are holding back the president on fully implementing what he needs to accomplish. And so, with TrumpRepublican.News, we're going to be sharing information among all the Trump Republican type organizations, and let's cooperate a little bit to get the word out and share the truth. Truth. Boy, is that a phrase that you just can't get your hands wrapped around these days. But with President Trump, there's a lot more truth coming out, and I have a feeling a lot more truth is on its way. You know, there have been many actions in the last couple months, kind of, I don't know if they're secret, but they're kind of hidden and low-key and not being reported in the mainstream, but you'll get bits and pieces from the alternate media, you know, the Alex Jones show or some of the YouTube channel people that have their own sources inside the Beltway in Washington, D.C. and across the country. You know, a lot is going on as it pertains to the Department of Justice. I know there's the Mueller investigation, GPS, Uranium One, you know, and all of those things with all these Hillary and Bill Clinton supporters and prosecutors that were a part of that team. But I want you to watch. The public records are clear. There are something close now to over 10,000 secret indictments against people. That's right. And there were reports, and it was somewhat accurate what was reported, that the Marines flew into the CIA building in Langley and took it over temporarily. Maybe they were serving some subpoenas, I don't know. But they were flying around it, and they did land there, and I have heard from sources that yes, they did go into the building. What they did is still being held secret, but that did happen. And there's been a lot of strange activity with Guantanamo Bay. Flights that seem to be secret flights of people going in there and doing things. Maybe there have been some arrests that we don't really know about. This pedophile ring thing has exploded in terms of law enforcement moving forward in arresting people. Well, Donald Trump has a lot of work cut out for him. He's got a lot of work to do. And he needs us. He needs us as Trump Republicans supporting him on his agenda. So, we need to move forward. And as the President Trump likes to say, keep moving forward, never ever